Alright, y'all, Ryvndare here, and we're about to rip back with part 2 of this Classic Plus survey. And I know the results have already been released, but that's fine, because I know they're going to still want to aggregate some data for all this stuff, and I know a lot of more people are going to start flowing in. So I figured, screw it, let's finish it up. I've been curious to see how my answers are going to reflect on the results. I haven't actually looked at the results yet, so we're just going to let it fly, baby. Let it fly. Alright, I need to finish up the zone survey. Classic Plus survey zones. Do you want new continents / worlds / dimensions added to Classic Plus? For all of those who don't know, I am a World of Warcraft veteran of about 20 years myself. So this is why I'm doing this survey. I think it'd be fun to give my opinion as kind of like a not casual, not hardcore, but somewhere in the middle type player, right? I like to do Mythic Plus, get about 3,000 rating each season. I like to do PvP, not so much lately, but I'm like an 1800 to 21 rated Andy, you know, nothing too crazy. So I like to dabble, but I don't like to go too balls deep in a lot of stuff. I like to do a little bit of everything. I like the housing, I like dolls, I like leveling, I like it all, okay? From classic all the way up to retail, I can find enjoyment in most of the game types. So that's why I'm doing the survey, and without further ado, let's continue ripping. Do you want new continents / worlds / dimensions added to Classic Plus? New continents / worlds. I definitely don't want dimensions or worlds per se. Continents could be decent. Like if they add like more islands and stuff, like a pirate continent or something decent, like a South Seas type thing, that could be really neat. So I'd say depends if it's done well. Definitely don't want to go to outer space, man. I don't want to go to the Shadowlands. I don't want to go do that type of shit. I'm just kind of sick of that type of thing. So keep it on Azeroth if you're going to build into Classic Plus, please. Thank you. Oh, if yes, check all that you'd like to see. Not as a launch, but vanillafied. Eversong. Hydrall would be sick. They could definitely do some really cool stuff with Hydrall. Eversong. I mean, all this stuff is good. Isle of Koldanas, Ezermist, Bloodmist. The Draenei areas would be two prime zones that haven't really been touched because no one goes and levels of Draenei really, so that could be neat. I don't want to go to Outland. At least not initially. I don't want to go to Northrend. Vashir? So these zones, technically in Azeroth, could be neat. Twilight Highlands. See, I'm fine with all the stuff if it's reimagined, honestly, if it's redone. Like, I don't want to go to Twilight Highlands just to deal with more cultist bullshit. No thanks. Like, make it something totally different. Classic Plus for a reason. The Lost Isles off the coast of STV. Sure. The Emerald Dream via portals. Okay, maybe. Actually, you know what? No, fuck the Emerald Dream. I didn't really like in SOD how they did the Emerald Dream. It's just a bunch of green stuff. Like, I'm kind of over that, honestly. And they had the, like, the Teldrassil, the World Tree thing for raids. That was, like, okay at best. Like, Pandaria. No, I don't think Pandaria really fits into Classic Plus. That type of aesthetic. I really don't. Draenor, nope. Broken Isles. Sure, Kultiris, Zandalar. Yep. Dragon Isles. No, not the Dragon Isles. I think that's just too... Getting closer to retail too much, I think. Where the other ones, I think, could be Classic Plusified, if you get my drift. Baelor. Island off the coast of Stormwind. Don't know what that is, but if it's off the coast of Stormwind, why not? Ryvndare. Island off the coast of Hillsbred. Sure, send it. Ogrezonia. Yeah, dude. Kezin. Kezin is Goblin? I think. It could be alright. Tadabeam. Listen, we need to figure out where the bananas come from. We got to figure out what those bananas been doing, those Tadabeam bananas, alright? I'm super curious. That's the #1 WoW mystery that hasn't been solved, is about them Tadabeam bananas. Why are they so good? You know, we got to figure that out. Would you prefer Blizzard to focus on improving existing zones or adding new ones at launch? At launch. Improving existing, adding new ones. Somewhere in between. I think somewhere in between. Like, why not spruce up some of the more unused zones? And then they could maybe add, it doesn't have to be like a lot, but like throw like Hyjal in there. That would be an obvious one. It's right there in the middle of the continent. That one could be really sick. Should there be more fast travel options in Classic Plus? Check all that you'd like to see more of. Portals between cities. Maybe. Portals between cities and various zones. I don't think I can get along maybe with portals between cities. I don't want to see really between cities and various zones per se, though. More ships / zeppelins between continents. I think that's fine now. I think a lot of players have figured out how to navigate the world with those for the most part to get to where they want to go. You know, it would be nice to like, for like leveling purposes, if you want to level with a friend and you want to be different races, that you don't have to do a whole crazy world run. It's kind of part of the charm in a weird little sadistic way, but I could see maybe some portals between like Stormwind and like what else, dude? Like you already have the Deep Realm trams between that and Ironforge, between that and somewhere else. I don't know. All right. More ships? No. Flight pass all over the place. I mean, they could be like they already are all over the place. Yeah, you have to do a little running, but you don't want flight pass so frequently that you're just like not thinking about world travel, that you're just flying everywhere. Like just add flying in at that point. So no. Multiple Hearthstones set to different places. That could be neat. Maybe like just maybe like 2 Hearthstones or something. Like 1 per continent could be kind of cool. I think that would be maybe the way to do it. Honestly, if they did that instead of even a portal between cities, that way if you have 2 separate zones that you're kind of questing in, like you know how leveling goes, or like into your 30s or 40s, and you can kind of pick between which continent you want to do some quests in. It'd be nice if you could like do some quests in STV, then you could like have a Hearthstone, then you could go over to like Shimmering Flats or vice versa without having to do a bunch of bullshit and rigmarole to get there. Should certain fast travel options be unlockable via quests, / achievements, activities? Maybe, I don't know, like, it wouldn't have to be anything too crazy, right? Like, say you do a long quest chain to unlock, like, a portal from Orgrimmar to Thunderbluff or something silly like that. Definitely not achievements. Maybe just like a quest. But like you have to actually go out to do the quest. Maybe it's like a long quest chain that can reward something like that. So, yeah, why not, I guess. I'm not really too excited or not excited about that one. Would you want to see more rare spawns / rare events in the world? Yeah, why not, dude? Throw some rare spawns out there. I think things like that are pretty chill, to be honest with you. Get people out in the world to kill some stuff. It's exciting too if the rare spawns are actually meaningful. The thing is, if you add too many and they just drop doggy doo-doo, like they don't have anything cool they drop, or there's no really point to kill them, there's no mats you get from them or anything like that, then it's just like, it's just another named mob that doesn't do anything. And then it kind of takes it away from the excitingness of seeing a cool thing. Like, maybe have some more rare hunter pets you can tame, or something like that. Why not? How would you feel about more open world mini bosses, akin to world bosses, but catered to 5 players? I think those are pretty dope, actually. Sounds pretty cool. You got a big group of friends, especially if it's a very populated area. Get a party together of 5 to go and kill that bad boy. It'd be like going to kill Stitches or something like that. You know, or like Lurzan and what, like Knuckle Rod or something in the Ghostlands. Stuff like that can be pretty fun, assuming there's people in the area to do it. You can always avoid it though if there's a dead zone, realistically, but Yeah. Do it up. Give it a reason to have players do some stuff. Should there be more PvP locations and events in the zones? E.g. Tower Control in EPL, Silithist, Blood Moon. I think those can be fun. They get in the way of leveling, but they're fine if I can opt out. I think that's the way. Like, if you don't want to, like, mess with that, or you're not a PvP Andy, then I think you should be able to opt out of those. Like, if you want to go and get in a big brawl for, like, the Blood Moon event, that's fine, but it has to be done right, and it has to be not legging the absolute tits out of the server. Like, that's the most important thing. Don't make it leggy, and make it actually worth your while to do, or that you can just opt out to begin with. Okay? So I'm gonna go with that. Should the phases in Classic Plus feature limited time or rotating ward events, e.g. Elemental Invasions, AQ opening event, Scourge Evasion? The phases in Classic Plus. I mean, there can be phases, but I guess it depends on the way that Classic Plus actually progresses. If they follow the exact same storyline and story arcs, the raids up to, you know, Nax, like, they can do that, I guess. And then as long as there's, like, new stuff after that, that's fine. I don't see any reason not to, unless they just totally decide to change the whole thing. But aren't permanent? Yeah, I don't want anything permanent. Yeah, maybe, as long as they're not, like, too silly. Should the phases that Classic Plus progress through change the world in any permanent way, e.g. the Cataclysm? Nah, just keep it. Don't really mess with the world. Just keep that shit the way it is, right? Keep that shit the way it is. Don't do a Cataclysm that kind of destroys a bunch of stuff or some weird stuff. Just, we're all autistic. We want the zones to be left alone, man. Just keep the Barons the Barons. So if I can want to level through 5 years from now in Classic Plus, it still looks like the Barons for the most part, okay? I'm fine. Yeah, let's choose that. Alright, we have the classes and talent survey, and now we're getting to some of the good stuff, man. How would you rate the class balance in vanilla WoW? From 1 to terrible, to 10 being perfect? Ooh, I'd say like a... I mean, balance doesn't necessarily have to be a crazy thing, right? Like, I just want viability within classes. More so than necessarily, like, balance. I don't want homogenized classes, like I said before in the first part. But, like, if you get a group of 5 different classes, and then, like, another group of 5 that have a bunch of different classes in it as well, it should be relatively functional, regardless of what specs and classes are in that group, to take on content, okay? Like, if one of those groups has a boomkin or a rep paladin, it shouldn't be completely garbage compared to another one that's just completely optimized for something else. I think it should be at least viable for people. I think it's, so if that's the case, I'll put it like a 5 as far as balance. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Do you think any balancing needs to happen for Classic Plus? If so, how should they be balanced? No balancing needed, keep it the same. True balance, everything close in DPS. Some classes can be better at single target cleave than others, but mostly similar. Classes can have different damage profiles, but they all need important utilities, so you bring them. It doesn't need to be true, like, crazy. I like classes to have, like, something that they're all good at, right? Like mages can be really good at AoE. You can have a warrior who's just straight up single target pumper. That's fine. You can have a paladin that's, you know, maybe has some off healing, but has decent single target DPS or something too. Some good buffs. So you want to bring them. Like, I think as long as they're important in some way, so you want to bring them, that's the most important thing. They can have different damage profiles, but they want to be needed, okay? They don't want to not bring a class or a spec just because they don't have or bring anything worthwhile. Making people feel important with a specific class or spec is pretty huge. Which of the following talent trees, in your opinion, need major revamping? I don't even think Arcane does anything. BM, Resto. Ah, man. I don't know about a lot of these other classes. I know Ret, Boomy, Arcane. Survival could probably use a bump up. Where are you, Ret Pally? There you are. I don't really know. Warlocks seem to be pretty good. Warriors. Prot could use some stuff, right? I don't know if Tank Druid is that good. I'm gonna put those ones for now. There's probably a few other ones, but I'm not a crazy expert on Classic. Some of these other ones, right? Should new roles for some Classic be added to Classic Plus? Check all you'd like to see. Tank Paladin. How is a tank not a paladin to begin with? Melee Hunter is sick. I loved being a melee hunter in SOD. It was so fun. I could run in the yard with my pet, and we're just absolutely dookie on guys with that. It felt really fun to play. Tank Shaman, Tank Warlock, those are fine. I actually played a Tank Warlock and a Melee Hunter. I enjoyed both of those. Tank Rogue, nah, I don't really care for that. Healing Mage, don't really care. Maybe like a ranged Paladin spec. He just like throws like hammers or something, or like lightning bolts or some shit. I don't know. Make it feel like Dark Souls. Should classes receive new or adjusted abilities to make their rotation more interesting, as they did or tried to in Season Discovery future expansions? Yup. I think they should. I think they did pretty good with SOD, actually. SOD was pretty hype. It just died out from the patch cadence and the level stuff, and there's a few other reasons. Like, I was on a PvP server. Bad idea. I was trying to level with my girl, and we just kept getting ganked into Sonaris. That's the game. It is what it is, but it made us quit playing because we just wanted to chill and level, and we just couldn't do that. So easy come, easy go. If new abilities get added to classes, how should they be learned? Exploration via like SOD runes. The SOD runes are okay. They're a little bit different. I mean, I'm fine with trainer as usual or experiment. I'm gonna say experiment. Try a bunch of different shit. Why not? That's the whole point of like doing something slightly different in Classic Plus, right? Like maybe there's a long quest line to unlock like a cool spell like at level 60 for one of your classes. That could be kind of neat. I don't see any problem with that. How would you feel if the talent trees in Classic Plus were larger, meaning they went further down and required a more point investment? I think that could be sick. Why not? Like I said, I'm kind of going into the idea of like really amping up and hyping out the class fantasy for some of these older classes too. Give them some more talent rows, make them feel a little different, make them feel a little bit cooler than what they originally were, in my opinion. I think that could go pretty hard. How would you feel if each talent tree had a capstone talent choice, meaning the bottom of the tree had two distinct abilities? Of which one you could only pick one? I don't know. Depends on how they implement it. I feel like having just like one really decent ability that works and it's balanced well and it's not doo-doo or something like that and it's powerful would make sense. I feel like whenever you had choices like that, the thing is there's always going to be an optimal choice, right? If you have two abilities, one's going to be parsed to be better than the other for whatever reason, and people are just always going to choose that ability. It's going to be almost impossible to make those same abilities like equal across the board, unless it has nothing to do with damage and it's just like a flavor thing. I don't know how that'd work. So I think maybe just keeping like one capstone would be fine. I'd have to see it. Should every class get a movement speed, talent, or ability? No. As much as I love moving fast on characters, I was a paladin for years. We did not have the charger, and it was fine. It is what it is. Like there's a fantasy to having a class that doesn't move fast, right? Being able to move fast, like playing a rogue with sprint or a demon hunter in retail, like moving fast is really cool. But say if I'm a warrior that's slow, outside of my charge, if I hit you, it should be able to really fuck you up. I'm like a slow, unstoppable, like juggernaut, right? That's a class fantasy. Don't let me towards you and don't let me hit you, because if I do and I catch you, oof, it's gonna hurt, okay? But say if you're a mage and you're just like a glass cannon, that's their class fantasy. Should mass res be a spell in the game? Sure, add mass res, like, it's just a time saver. It's a QOL, a quality of life type saving that I think really, there's not really a negative to that, right? You wipe in a raid, have someone with a soul stone get mass res or like a shaman so that you guys can get back into doing the content and not everyone has to, like, one by one get res by somebody. Should damage over time / heal over time spells be able to crit baseline for all classes? For all classes. I think if you make it maybe like part of their kit as like a choice, that could be kind of cool. It just all depends on how that's balanced. It doesn't really necessarily add flavor unless you make it so like as a warlock, when your dots crit, they have another extra effect, so like it could help them want to get more crit gear or something like that. But besides that, it's just a throughput thing and a tuning thing. So you'd have to make it kind of like able to crit and do something cool if it does crit. You know what I mean? Should each class in Classic Plus have one spec tailored specifically for PvP? No. Like, well, oh, I see what they're saying. At least one spec should be good for PvP. Like, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there should be, I guess, a spec that's... So if you do want to do PvP, say you have a dual spec, right? One of your classes or specs could be decent for that. So it's not like you're totally screwed. It depends on the balance, like I said. Like, if you have a class and they're totally screwed in PvP and they can't do it at all, I don't think that'd be healthy for the game. It'd be nice if someone could spec into something that was at least viable for PvP. So I'm gonna stick with that one for now. Now we're going to ask you a question about your experience with each class, and depending on your answer, we'll present you with questions about that class. The questions are specific to that class, so make sure you know it well enough to speak its intricacies. We want to emphasize the goal was balance amongst the classes. Think about your answer and consider if your choice is beyond what should be allowed, even if you might find it exciting because you play that class. What class would you consider your main or have a good base of knowledge about? Feel free to check multiple. I'd say for Classic, which is I'm assuming that's what this is referring to, really only Hunter. I've like dabbled in all the other ones a little bit, but unless they ask questions about Ret, because I played Ret back in the day all the way up through. Not in like the old school raids though. We'll see. We'll see what questions I ask. If not, I'll just nope out. How would you rate Vanilla WoW's Beast Mastery Hunter kit in terms of solo content? I mean, 10. 5-man dungeon content? Probably also a 10. A 9. Raid content? Probably a 9. PvP content. 8. How would you rate Vanilla WoW's Marks Hunter in terms of... Maybe I shouldn't have picked Paladin as well, because I haven't really done all the other specs of Pally. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to nope out of Pally. Because I don't know shit about Prot and Holy. Marks, solo content. I mean, you got a pet, so it's still like a 9 to tank. Dungeon content, as long as you don't go, you're like an 8. Raid, probably 8. PvP content, probably at least 8 or 9 too. How would you rate Vanilla WoW Survival Hunter Kit? Solo content? You still got a pet though, bruh, so I'm still giving it an 8. 5-man. So, I mean, Survival is just not like a great spec as for most things. It's not really balanced. It's one of those. Hunters. Should hunters need to use a quiver and arrows in Classic Plus? How about, here's the thing. How about you just give hunters a quiver that's just like a separate bag slot? I don't think that'd be that hard. Like, they can still have quivers and stuff they can get for the quivers. You can still buy arrows. But how about it just doesn't take up a goddamn bank slot? So I'm going to put no opinion on that one. So they either keep it, make it its own thing, or just get rid of it. Hunter, if you were to change how ranged attacks on Hunter work, how would you change it? Melee within 5 yards, small dead zone between 5 and 8 yards, ranged at 8+ yards. I don't think they should change it. Like, that's the whole point of Classic Plus. That's a pretty, like, huge part of the Hunter is maintaining space and getting guys off your tail. I don't think they need to make it exactly like vanilla. Like, using your pet, using wing clip, concussive shot, traps, all that stuff to get guys off you. You have all those tools for a reason. I don't really think they should mess around with that too much. Should melee weaving be an option playstyle for hunting? That's an optimal playstyle. I don't really think. I mean, if you want to do it, if you want to min-max that hard, who gives a shit? Like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, if you want to go that crazy with it, go ahead. Should traps be able to be used in combat? Yeah, I think traps should. They're part of your kit. You know, if you get jumped, it'd be nice to throw down a little frost trap here and there. Do some more damage. It'd be nice to have the actual, like, the range of the trap shooter, too. I don't think that's in Classic. Should hunters have a melee spec? I think they should. I think survival should just be the melee spec. Maybe I'm a little tainted by SOD, but I think they should have a cool, like Beastmaster, like, melee style with your pet near you, and you guys are just shredding up dudes right in front of you. That'd be cool, too. Should Beastmaster hunters be able to tame exotic beasts? Why not? Who cares? Like, honestly, if there's cool animals that can be tamed, why not? Let them go for it. Should a hunter ability to scale with their attack power, arcane shot, Mungus bite? Sure. Given hunters are able to use a range of weapons in melee range, should hunters lose the ability to equip a melee weapon? No. I want it to still look cool. Even if I can't use that two-handed sword on my back, I want to have it on my back. Every weapon is a hunter weapon. Remember that. If Blizzard were to give hunters a legendary weapon in Classic Plus, what would you prefer it be? A bow. Make it a damn bow. Okay. Guns are kind of okay, but I'm not playing a hunter to shoot my damn gun. Alright? If I wanted to shoot a gun, I would just go to the range in real life and start popping off, okay? Just give me a bow. Crossbows kind of lame too, right? Class Fantasy is the strongest when it's equipped with a bow. Okay? Should Blizzard change the pet system for hunters in Classic Plus from its vanilla iteration? If so, how? Make it more complicated? Nah, that's dumb. I actually think they should just make it slightly more simple. Like, the only thing that I find annoying is just having to go around and tame pets just to use their ability to learn it real quick once they're attacking, and then you just get rid of them again, just so you can learn that rank of, like, claw or whatever it may be. Like, seems like a waste of time. I don't like doing that. Profession survey. Ooh. How much do you enjoy the current profession system in Classic WoW? I'll be honest with you, I don't really fuck with it that much. Like, it's fine. Like, I feel like doing professions to me is just like a chore. I just don't want to have to do it. I've done it so many times over the course of my life. Leveling up stuff, getting herbs. Like, I don't really mess around it unless they make it, like, worthwhile and, like, beneficial. So I'd give it, like, a 6. I feel like being able to make some more cool weapons and armor would always be a good thing, right? Like, if I'm going to go out and grind leather or herbs or ore or whatever it may be, like, give me a reason to use it to make something cool or to sell it to someone who can make something cool for me or to sell it just to make money. Okay? How much you enjoy them? Tailoring, engineering. I mean, engineering is just like a staple for stuff too. I think enchanting is sick. It's just, it'd be cool if you could do more enchants. Mining. I know I talk shit about herbalism. I'm like grabbing herbs, but like, at least if I'm in the open world, I can like get them for something, right? Alchemy is pretty okay as far as being useful. I don't give a fuck about first aid, but I'm also not playing a warrior or a class that needs to bandage all the time. Skinning's fine. Tailoring, cooking. I mean, all this is a toss-up at this point. Fuck fishing. It can be okay sometimes, but... How useful do you believe the current profession system in vanilla WoW is for leveling? It's like a fucking 2 or 3. Like, the best thing you can hope to do is be in herbalism with alchemy to make like some goofy little potions, like a troll's blood and some other stuff. So I'm gonna give this like a 2. For rating, it's probably gonna go up. You can actually use some potions for certain things. PvP, I don't really have anything to say about that, so like 5. How many of the ingredients required for crafting professions are too hard to find? I don't really have a strong feeling on that. Depends what you're trying to make, right? Should gathering professions be changed to secondary professions? Yeah. Probably, right? Like, it sucks, especially if you have a main. Oh, well, you know what, though? If you do that, then you kind of screw up the economy a little bit. Because if you only have a character that gathers, it kind of removes some of the back and forth between you and, like, someone who has only crafting professions. So I'm going to say no, actually. Should professions give XP? Nah, just leave it as it is. Just make them worthwhile on their own if you're going to do it, right? Should professions be rebalanced to give more value to diverse profession choices? Engineering less required. Yep. Yep. You shouldn't have to have bombs and dynamite and other stupid shit to, like, min-max things. Should Classic Plus add professions? Specialization, ED, Dragon Scale, leatherworking, and armor scaling to more professions. Why not? More flavor is better, okay? Add all the stuff, right? Give everything something cool or something maybe you can get into. I thought it was neat, like in BC, where you could like choose to be like a swordsmith or like an axesmith. You can make Deep Thunder, you can make Blood Moon, you can make Lionheart, Executioner, like all that fun stuff. I think that was pretty cool. I think having like a spec for those things would just make more flavor for the game. Should gear crafted while you're leveling be more relevant and accessible? Yep. Especially with like the limited drops that seem to happen from stuff. Like if I want to go out for a few hours to get some leather on a rogue and like make some like reasonable level appropriate gear, I should be able to do that, right? Like mostly a full set if I invest the time. Should profession quests require that you learn the profession to complete, or allow you to purchase the items from someone with that profession instead? Allow me to purchase the quest items. I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't know. Should you be able to use gathering professions on corresponding elementals, like in TBC? Yeah, screw it. Why not? Why not? Should Black Lotus be made more accessible? I have no opinion on that one. Alright, we're gonna go to Races and Factions Survey. Which of these new races would you want to see in Classic Plus? Now we're getting to the sweet stuff, right? No new races, keep the original lane. No, like, I think Blood Elves, Goblins, Dark Iron Dwarf. Yo, Murlocs? I just think they're too stupid. I don't think they make... Satyrs would be kind of cool. Draenei, Worgen, Drakthir, no. Void Elf, no. Lightforge, no. Mykark, nope. Kultiran could be making sense. Frobolg, Ogres, Centaurs. Why not? I think everything else is just a bit too furry or just like really outside the scope of what I think these zones could do. Right? Like if it's really another continent or like another expansion stuff, it's iffy. Like I like Worgen because it's like right there. It's like in, you know, the Eastern Kingdoms. So I think they could work into something like that. Or even some new races we've never seen. I don't know. How do you feel about neutral races? Choosing faction? They're fine. I don't see any issue with those. It allows you to play with your friends, you know, more easily. What's wrong with that? If neutral races are added, at low levels should they be forced to choose a faction? You could just have them do it at 1 to 10. Like, I don't think they really need to overthink this type of thing. Pick your neutral race. They don't even really have to have a starting zone. They could just be like in Undercity or in Stormwind, like for whatever reason, you know? Have them start in just the major capital. Out of 10, how would you like the current racial trait system in Classic WoW? It's like a 3. I think if you have to pick a race for a specific reason to get racials, like undead for like that type of thing, you know, for turn undead or whatever the fear break is, and like I love night elves because of shadow meld, but I would still pick them even if that wasn't theirs because I like their aesthetic. I think it should be primarily aesthetic based as opposed to min-maxing a character as far as that goes. So we'll go 3. How do you feel about rebalancing for racial abilities to Classic Plus? Yeah, I don't think combat racials are very good. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like the racials can add flavor to certain aspects of the game, but without actually being like a crazy thing, like a game-changing thing. You know, like Will the Forsaken. I don't think everyone needs to have that, like OP-style stuff. Racials create FOMO, remove them entirely. Nah, like they can just give little flavor things. I don't really care if there even are racials personally, but if you want to do little flavor bonuses, little abilities be my guest. How would you feel about cross-faction play in Classic Plus? No cross-faction play whatsoever. Huh. Maybe dungeons and raids, kind of like Modern WoW? That way you got more people to pull from? Maybe BGs? Like, I'm fine with that, honestly. As long as it makes the game go faster. How do you feel about the current faction dynamic? Maintain 2-faction dynamic. It's critical to the lore. Add a third faction to keep the game fresh. I mean, it is World of Warcraft, right? I think they need to keep the factions. But like, if they have options to still play with buddies or new friends, I think that's pretty good. But having the war in Warcraft be a critical element of the lore and the way the game is set up is totally fine. Like, if they want to add a third faction, I don't know what that would be, just like a neutral faction. But how about they maintain the two factions? I think that's fine. Should gear and mounts be faction specific? Cosmetically, at least. Keep the Horde looking like the Horde and the Alliance looking like Alliance. I mean, it's not really like that now. Like, if you get Thunder Fury, it doesn't look different on a different character. Or like a Helm doesn't look different on a different Helm. Like, then they could have, I think, gear and aesthetics from the raids, I think should kind of look like just whatever, but it should be cool and just look good on every character, right? I don't think it matters. Like, you can have a human warrior that has an orcish looking set of shoulders or like a chest guard, like, who cares? And vice versa. Should certain content like quests or dungeons be exclusive to particular factions' races? I think going forward, no. Like, you already have the stockades and you already have RFC. Those are the two. Just keep them. Keep them the way they are, right? The other ones, if you're going to make new ones, don't make them faction, you know, split. Should the regular auction house be cross-faction? I guess I don't really see an issue with that. How about they just make it all like a goblin thing? Like, the goblins are just have the monopoly on the auction house, and they just let everything, they do all the dealings. That's the way you could work around the lore for that. So why not? We're onto systems. Economy, reputations, and more survey. How do you feel about gold sinks in WoW? Gold sinks feel bad, keep things cheap and easy to get. No opinion. Gold sinks are good. They keep the value of gold high and prevent inflation. The thing is, for gold sinks, when you make things super expensive or require a lot of gold, like back in the day, they felt better because you could, and especially when I was younger, like I feel like you had time to grind for that gold and you could give it to things and you could feel good about spending that gold on something. But nowadays, the WoW group is we're all a bunch of old fucks now, realistically. And a lot of people don't have time to go and just grind endlessly for gold. So what do? They pay for it, right? Which is not a good thing. Now you're paying bots and these Chinese gold farmers or whoever just to give you gold to buy whatever items and stuff you need for anyway. So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the game. So I don't really think having a whole lot of gold sinks are a great idea, right? What kind of gold sinks would you think be okay with in Classic? Consumables? I mean, that's fine. Things that keep the economy ticking are good. More expensive flight pass? That's just stupid. Temporary buffs that increase your crafting skill ability. Like, fine. Maybe heirlooms. I'm not... Nah. Cosmetic recolored mounts. Sure. Guild perks. I guess it depends on the perks. Items that allow you to get world buffs whenever. Nah, like, I feel like that shit's just annoying, if anything. Should Classic Plus have tabards for certain reputations allow you to get rep from any high-level dungeon like in Wrath of the Lich King? That's not a bad idea. You know, I thought that was kind of cool. You could just throw on the tabard, go in there, and do a dungeon and get the rep. Yeah, that could be alright. Should Classic Plus allow you to level certain reps beyond Exalted as a prestige level, granting additional cosmetic items unique to that rep? Yeah, maybe. That could be fine, I guess, if as long as it's just cosmetic. If the Exalted rep gives, like an item, like a sword, for example, The prestige level is maybe above that. If it's just a grind and it gives a cooler looking sword, or it's just a recolor, that could be all right. Give people a time sink to play. How do you feel about certain reps being linked and choosing one prevents you from gaining rep with the other? I.e. the stupid centaurs or the other one. I wouldn't necessarily say they create FOMO. I just think they're kind of stupid and pointless. I'm gonna just put no opinion. I don't really think they're cool. It's whatever. Because if there's like some certain item that's really tied to that faction that's like way better than the other one, people are just gonna choose that regardless. Would you want to see an account bound item in Classic Plus that gave you double rep gains for that rep once one character reaches revered/exalted? So like the rep grind is quicker. I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm fine with that. Should Classic Plus feature additional minor reps with very difficult grinds that grant prestige items? Bloodsail Buccaneers. I'm fine with that. If you want to go out and just have to kill like 10,000 trolls to get some stupid mount, have it in the game. Why not? I got the insane title. I'm down to do a stupid grind for no reason, okay? Should some BIS items for PvE be solely available as a reward for PvP participation? Be solely available as a reward for PvP. Nah. I don't think that's necessary, honestly. I think there should be comparable items on both sides that you could do either one. Whatever is more fun. You know, not everyone wants to PvE. Not everyone wants PvP. Some people just want to get some cool shit from their favorite type of gameplay, right? So it should be pretty comparable on each side, whatever one you want to do. Should classes get a strong buff when they wear a full set of gear in their highest equipable equipment type? IG Warriors Plate, Shaman's Mail, Druid Leather. That's tough. I don't think other classes should necessarily be using those things to make competition for it. But while we're at it for Classic Plus, how about they just make items or more items that are itemized better? That's something. I don't think there needs to be any type of like buff or anything. Just let the classes have better items to begin with, or more of them. Should progressive phases introduce gear that nearly always has higher base stat than gear previously available? Yeah, how about some set bonuses? I think they should, if they do increase player power over the course of whatever this is going to be, whatever it might be, or what have you, it should be very, very small. Like, I'm talking single-digit percentage increases from raid to raid patch, right? Like a 1 to 5% max. That at least it gives you a reason to still do the other raids. Like, that gear should still be viable and usable basically over the course of the entire, like, whatever it's gonna be, okay? Like, I don't want all the gear to be immediately invalidated by a new patch coming out. That's the current retail patch cycle. It's fucking annoying. Yes, that's just the way World of Warcraft is. It creates that game loop. It helps Blizzard get their sub money, but I think it's detrimental overall for the course of the game going forward. You know, it just invalidates your progress, and it's kind of annoying. So, I don't know. RuneScape does it well. Guild Wars does it well. Once you earn an item, sweet. I think they should add more cosmetic rewards. You know, people will chase cosmetic rewards just as well as they'll chase player power at the end of the day. So, yeah. Do you like that certain items can remain powerful for several phases? Yes, I do. I think all items should remain powerful, or at least there should be chase items in raids that remain powerful. Should legendaries and classic boss always be weapons, or also other gear slots? Dude, what do I... weapons. Just keep them as weapons, because especially if they add more classes eventually, having weapons is cool, man. People want weapons. Give someone weapons. No one wants a legendary bracers, okay, that you can't see. Like, oh, that's tough though. What if it's like a cool chest guard? But then again, if it's a cool chest guard, it might be hard for everyone to wear. Just keep it, maybe just keep it weapons for now. Should legendary weapons / items remain best for the entire lifetime of Classic Plus? Sure. I think that maybe they could be replaced with different ones. Possibly. Like, depends on how far down. Like, a legendary that you get from, like, the first raid, say, Thunder Fury should still be a damn badass BIS weapon, if not the best weapon for that slot the entire time, you know? And if there was a new one introduced, it should be very close, right? It shouldn't be completely invalidated. It should still be awesome. Should every class get access to legendary weapons? Yeah. Why not? Like, I think that should be a chase item for everyone. Like, there shouldn't be classes left out from getting a really cool chase item to pursue, to be really powerful with. Should weapon skill remain in the game? Nah. I don't know if that's gonna be like a controversial pick. I don't really see the point of having weapon skill. It's like, oh great, I unlocked pole arms, now I gotta sit there and just auto attack a fucking boar for like an hour just to get up so I can have a chance of hitting something that's higher level. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. You're wasting my time. I value my time. Alright? I've already spent enough time on this game. I don't need to sit there and waste it even more. What stats, if any, should be added to gear in Classic Plus? Nah, fuck Brazil. That just makes more weird itemization with PvP armor. Expertise. I don't like the expertise. I don't like armor pen. I don't like Brazil. Magic pen. No. Mastery. No. How about haste? Haste is fine, I guess. maybe armor pen. Maybe, like, when was that introduced? Wrath, I think. I think haste is fine. It's just making things easy to understand, like where their stats go. Mastery is just more damage, just, yeah. Should resistances remain a stat on items? Ooh. Maybe having like a resist all. That way, like if your tanks want to like get some resist all or something, like that's a thing. Because right now it just seems super dumb to have. It's super niche for certain fights. But maybe if you want to be like a really resist all, like magic style tank for like a raid, and that's something you want to gear towards, maybe I don't see a big issue with that. Should gear score / eye level be relevant stat for players in Classic Plus? Yes and no, right? It's gonna, like, aren't there add-ons for that anyways? Like, there's always gonna be gear score type stuff. I'm not a big... it's a double-edged sword, because depending on what kind of content you're doing, if the content is very hard, then whoever is looking to form the group is gonna be extremely picky. And you don't know how good a player is, but you can at least see what their gear is. And if their gear is doo-doo, you're probably not going to invite them, right? Because if you have two people and one's gear is better than the other, you're always going to pick the person with a better gear score. Like 9 out of 9 times. So, I don't know. But if the raids aren't that hard, and you can kind of go in there and blow them up anyways with anybody, as long as the gear isn't like extremely bad, that can be an option too. Should healing power and spell power be combined into one stat? Nah, I don't think so for Classic Plus is necessary. Because you probably get some weird hybrid interactions if you do that, where like a paladin could really be crazy healing and then also be like judging crazy. I think it just would make more balancing issues. Should more diverse gear affixes be added, e.g. of the soldier, of the sorcerer? Why not? Who cares? Should attack power and ranged attack power be combined? Yeah, why not? Again, I don't know who that's really affecting. Depends on, like, if they make, like, a hunter who can run in the melee and do range at the same time. Like, that could be something. Should crit and hit chance be changed to a rating instead of a flat percentage? Should crit and hit chance be changed to a rating? It's gonna end up being a rating anyways, isn't it? At the end of the day, or a percent chance. I don't think it really matters. Should casters have a base stat, intellect, or something else that directly gives them spell power, like how strength gives? I think however they do it now, I don't play casters, but however they do it now seems to be working. So just leave that as it is. Should classic plus have the ability to reforge your gear? Reduce one stat to gain another stat. Nah. What the gear's got, that's what you get. Make the best of it. Mechanic survey. Which version of layers would you want to see in Classic Plus? Multiple identical layers, as many as necessary to prevent lag and stop the world from feeling too crowded. Layers only out in the world, no layers in large cities. No layers when simultaneously reality for all players. I mean, realistically, that's what you want. But the issue is, you get servers with streamers on it or something like that. Blizzard just does not know how to not make their game lag like doo-doo, okay? So, like, maybe in the city, no layers. But, like, if you're trying to quest, it's fine to have layers at least on the initial jump, and then have no layers later on. How would you feel if spell bashing... How would you feel if spell bashing was in Classic Plus? I think... I mean, if it's in Classic now, how the spells work, that's... just keep it that way. How do you feel about the measures taken by Blizzard to prevent boosting within dungeons? I don't know. I've never boosted, I've never mage boosted, so I just say keep it the way it is. How would you feel if mobs scaled with your level? Ooh. Ugh. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. It completely eliminates the point of an RPG where it feels like you're progressing and you're getting stronger. If the same enemies, no matter where you go, like being funneled through specific zones is a much better thing, and it lets you progress your character power, like the fantasy of getting stronger much more. Like if you go into the Burning Steps and you're just like a level 2 human paladin, you're just auto-attacking some crazy looking like elemental guy that's huge. Doesn't feel right, okay? I don't like that. I do not like it. Let me progress through the world and let me be scared of shit. What's wrong with being scared of shit? If I see Patchwork or Patches walking through Darkshire, let me be scared of him for a while until I'm old enough, high enough level to whoop his ass. How do you feel about the various currencies in World of Warcraft? Currencies are important for horizontal progression. Use them when you need to. I'm fine with currencies. Whatever. What version of consumables would you want to see in Classic Plus? Flashy elixirs, food, and more. All of it usable at the same time and should be for parsing. Just keep it like TBC. I think you should buy like a tank elixir or DPS elixir. Or some food. Like, I don't think it should be mandatory. I mean, don't make a bunch of shit mandatory, right? Like, because they're going to be mandatory if you're in a raid group. So just don't make like 5 different things. Like world buffs and shit like that. It's so annoying, dude. So annoying. Just let me do the damn raid. Should Classic Plus increase the view distance of enemy nameplates from vanilla range of 20 yards to how it is in TBC? Sure. Why not? Let me use my computer. Let me see further. Should weapon skill remain a mechanic in Classic Plus? I think we already answered this. Weapons, no. I do not want weapon skills. Ooh, the PvP survey. Let's take a look. Should there be war mode in Classic Plus? No war mode. Make that choice on servers. Yeah, that's fine. Pretty much 99% of people just end up opting out of it because world PvP is just dead. Pretty much. So if you want to be in a PvP server and get ganked by a group of 10 pissed off fucking fire mages that are just going to gank you, then be my guest. How would you rate the original PvP ranking honor system in Classic WoW? It's probably just fine. It's a way to do it. How would you change the original honor system? Same system, just remove the decay as it is today. That's fine. That's fine. How do you feel if rank was uncapped when hitting max rank? You could continue to prestige, but gain no additional power. Nah, I feel like having just an unattainable goal to hit, like High Warlord or Grand Marshal, is a good thing. Like, they literally did that where they added a prestige PvP, like, on the honor levels, and you know what happened? People just found exploits and boosted the hell out of them. You could do, like, world quests to get honor level. It's stupid. Still is stupid. I'm pretty sure it's still in the game. It's just dumb. Would you want Arena and Classic Plus? Nah. Don't need that. If you ask which arena sizes would you want to see, check all that apply. Not. How would you feel about a 1v1 arena, like ranked dueling system? No, I don't think it needs a 1v1 system. Game's not really built around 1v1s. Should you be able to muck around another player, which would mean when the loser dies at the end of the duel, they're never able to resurrect? Why not? I feel like that could like get expletive though. People might not know what's happening. Like, I don't care if people want to do that and kill each other and actually kill each other for real. On God, they can, but I don't think like it'd be the best. It might make some good funny streamer moments, but I don't know. Sounds silly. Which of the following would you want to see? I mean, especially if they have hardcore in the game, just play hardcore. Which of the following would you want to see on PvP gear, if any? No, I don't want to see. No stat item normalization. No PvP gear scaling. I just like you could get gear in either and take it in there and not have to fuck with it. I think none of the above. Oh, I'm just gonna go other. Okay. Should dishonorable kills exist? Yes, no. I think it's just a goofy system. It doesn't really affect anything, does it? It just gives you a little red mark for ganking lobies. But I think it's just funny. How important is to you that Blizzard add new battlegrounds to Classic Plus? How important is it? Maybe like a 7. It's not very important, and it's also not important. I'd say that. It'd be cool if they had like another one in the spirit of Classic. Should more world PvP objectives be added? I don't really care. They can if they wanted to, but rate the following world PvP objectives. I always like Selshore Tarn Mill, assuming it just doesn't get turned into a huge lake fest. The Battle for Ashen Vale is just... 2. This is like a 3 if it was also not leggy. I didn't do the Blackrock Eruption, so I don't know. Watchtower Control. I'd never done the Silithus Sands capture. World Boss Tag Wars and various war zones. Never done that either. Killing faction leaders. I think that's always fun. Getting a huge group of 40 to go to a capital city just to blow their guy up. That's simple, basic fun. How should the following combat mechanics function in PvP? I think you should just keep shit the way it is, right? Like, if you want to do PvP. I don't even know what heartbeat resist is. Is that like where there's a tick, like, per second, like a chance to break something? like mind control or whatever, it goes through a check. Should the resurrection timers be changed when you die repeatedly in PvP in the open world? I think if you're doing like an open world PvP, it's nice to like not have to sit there and wait for like a minute. Like if it was like a battleground timer where it's just like a res over and over again, just do that. If it's a PvP event. Should rated BGs be added? I'm fine with that. Like if people want to get teams together and actually make it a big group play for like AV, that could be kind of chill. Soul Shuffle be added. No, we don't need Soul Shuffle for Classic Plus. I don't even want arenas. Should War Games be added? Why not? Let people do the stuff they want to do. Should players be allowed to toggle XP off? Yeah, let people twink. If they want to spend the time and to do it, let them do it. Should kills in PvP give XP? Nah. Get people out into the world, man. Should the PvP trinket cooldown be reduced from 5 minutes? I guess, I mean, only if they don't change the other balancing things. Just keep it the way it is, I suppose. If you shorten or change the CCs for a bunch of classes, you might have to rebalance that. Should Battlegrounds, along with potentially Arena or other new PvP content, be released weeks or months after launch, or right at the jump? I'm fine if they like wait a little bit before they go into BGs and stuff, honestly. Survey complete. Ya boy, Ryvndare has completed the survey. It only took about, what, 3 hours, roughly? Holy shit. Alright, well, that was fun. It got me thinking about a whole lot of stuff, but it also got me pretty hyped up for some Classic Plus experiences. I don't know about you guys, but if you actually sat there and watched me answer all of these as both parts, kudos to you, and I actually really appreciate you sticking around to see what my answers for this goofy shit is. And I think as a community, we all together can hope for something sick to come our way. You know, we're always looking for that next great thing, especially as WoW players, that next little hype train that we can ride and sink our teeth into, as long as it's fun. So yeah, if you enjoy the content, give me a sub. If you like it, hit that like button. I really appreciate it, guys. Until next time, peace.